Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Wednesday Night Live. On today's show, we got the nicest person in the vape community right there. Tony B's joining us
I
tonight.
don't know about that.
I met you at shows. I know how nice you are, man.
Well, then later on in the night, maybe not. No, I'm just kidding.
We got the latest news and advocacy with Tim. Tom is going to let us know what cheeses him off. Also, tonight we got the poll question of the week, which is your cotton of choice. So let's not waste any time and start this show. And me introducing my co-host, Tom Harding there in the middle, Tim Swift over there, Brian down there in the bottom, and Tony B joining us tonight. How's everybody doing tonight? Tom, how are you, Tom?
Not too bad.
Not too bad. You're alive?
I'm living.
You're alive? You're staying warm?
Absolutely.
No 10 feet of snow?
We have like 5 inches of snow.
That's it?
So, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I want snow.
You're not in Florida.
Well, no, I'm in North Carolina. We'll get snow.
North Carolina. Yeah, you get it there.
No, tonight. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Hey, and Tim, how are you, Tim?
Well, now that I'm not muted, I'm doing much better. Thank you very much.
I didn't mute you.
I'm sitting there talking to myself. I'm like, man, I sound great on this show. And then I realized that you guys can't hear me, nor can anyone watching the show hear me. Sorry, I'm not paying attention because I'm filling up my RTA because I'm a loser and I didn't do it before I started. I'm fine. I had a wonderful weekend this past weekend. It was full of music, which Tony B would appreciate. So I went out and supported my boys, the band that I kind of work for, I guess you could say. I'm kind of like I'm their social media, PR, gopher, Chick-fil-A runner, driver. I do a little bit of everything for them. So I supported them on Friday night. And then Saturday went out and enjoyed a show with some of our local rock stars and heroes here from the Atlanta area. So that was a very fun night. Got to see a bunch of faces I haven't seen in a year due to other states being locked down. They got to fly in and enjoy the show. And since then, I've been on a lighting tear. I'm trying to light up my life. I'm putting more lights in this room, making it look a little bit more ambient and cool. So hey, I'm happy.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, was that the Journey trivia band?
Yeah, Departure. Yeah, those are my boys. Yeah, I love all those guys, and I would go to hell and back for them, supporting them. So. They had a great show, as usual. It was local, like 5 minutes from here. I've got a club right around the corner that they played. So
That's awesome.
It's a real nice little setup. It's a well, I don't want to call it a chain, but it's called 37 Main, and they have one here in Buford, like 5 minutes from my house. They have one in Avondale, which is about 45 minutes from here. And then they have one in Gainesville, but they don't do shows there. But yeah, they're kind of like they're one of the more popular tributes in the area.
Very good band. They sound amazing.
Yeah, Tony, I'll send you a video.
Yeah, man, I love good tribute bands.
Yep.
There's some really good ones out there. This is the sad part about this pandemic. Not to derail this, but we had one venue here that was somewhat able to bring in bands, and they brought in Striper. Hey, that was big.
Hey, wow.
They brought in Saliva too.
Yeah, Striper's
cool.
still out there. We actually have Michael's.
Striper was awesome too.
Yeah, no,
wow.
they're still good. I mean, when you consider the fact that a lot of these guys are in their 50s, climbing into their 60s and stuff, and can still put on a hell of a show. But they're one anybody should go see because they're holding it down. But we get Michael Sweet, the singer.
Right.
He comes through here on his solo tours quite often.
Nice.
So
cool.
we get nationals.
What sucks is that the one place we had shut down. They couldn't stay open, man. I mean, just it's horrible, and I'm sure that's happening to a lot of artists, people that need to get out and play.
It is. The clubs are struggling, and they can't, with capacity limits and the things that they're kind of obligated to, the guidelines they have to follow.
Yeah.
It becomes difficult to pay the price tag of some of these bands, and
Sure.
you're not gonna, you can't get the talent. If you can't get the talent, then it's, you're gonna have to pack the bar up with the DJ or something like that, and sometimes that doesn't even work. So
They make their money with those high-tech jukeboxes now that you can pay with credit cards and use your phone to Wi-Fi your song list.
Yeah. Well, I'll just end it on this, and I'll say that no matter what your view is on COVID and best practices and all that other political garble that goes along with it, Georgia's been open since probably about June. So, we've had, our challenges in having these social outings. It's been riddled with all different kinds of criticism and exactly, what's right, what's wrong. But we've been open since June. So it's been a bit of a fortunate situation. So we are able to get out and go enjoy some entertainment, which I appreciate.
Yeah. Brian, how are you doing, Brian?
Not too bad, actually. Kind of, just sticking with it and trucking through everything. I mean, it's only like 10 degrees here, so it's not too bad. Not a whole lot of snow.
Oh,
No, 10 degrees. No, thank you.
Not that bad, really.
No.
Yeah, right. Yeah, when you're inside with the heater on, everything.
What's the cold? It's the wind chill.
Yeah. It's not like how cold it is. The wind, when the wind picks up, that's when it just really sucks.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I live on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, so we stick out into the ocean. It's basically like a piece that comes off the bottom of Virginia and goes down to South Carolina, and so we get water on both sides. We get wind, we get moisture, and when it's cold, it's cold. Example: I was in Denver, and I was out on a porch talking to somebody, and I was like, "Man, I'm only wearing a hoodie. There's snow on the ground." What's the temperature? They said 10. I go, degrees? They said, yeah. And I go, back home at 45, I would be freezing my butt off right now.
Yeah.
So it just, I guess, depends on where you're at and all the conditions around you. But yeah, that's cold.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just used to it, I guess. I mean, it's actually been a very mild winter up here, which is really, really nice.
Knock on wood, damn it.
Yeah, we usually have a lot of snow by this time, but right now it's actually been pretty nice. So.
Right.
So yeah, doing okay.
So that's me. I was responding to Zach. I didn't want to speak over top of people. I was trying to be respectful.
I might do that occasionally. I'm not used to doing this. Sorry. In advance.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Plus, I've had a couple of beers. So.
Yeah, I'm on my first one. So give me I got 3 sitting on the desk. We'll see what happens.
It's 9 p.m. on the East Coast, so
And how's Tony doing?
I'm doing good, man. As good as you can be. Especially, I don't know, man. We don't have too many restrictions where I live. You can go out to places and stuff. It's still 50% capacity and wear the masks and all that. So we can get out and do a few things, but I don't do too much. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just we have people. I live in a tourist area, and we have people coming here from everywhere on the East Coast. So I figure maybe I'll just stay away from a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we try to get out and do stuff. But as far as the channel and business, well, there hasn't been a lot of business with my actual, because I actually do a photo, video, and voiceover business here on the Outer Banks. And business has been kind of slow for that because people just don't have budgets for that kind of stuff. So it's like, all right, well, and I just the thing is, I redid my room here. I had a little bit of time, and as I've had a little bit of time, I'm like, all right, well, I don't want to just idly use this time sitting there watching Netflix or anything like that. So I've gotten out and done some volunteering. I've been delivering meals for Meals on Wheels.
Nice.
For seniors, and helping the food bank locally and stuff. I'm like, if I got time, I want to use it for something. So
yeah, it's nice because I've been hearing a lot of stories, a lot of people picking up old hobbies, learning to play the guitar again or playing piano and doing other things. So
I've been writing a lot of music lately, so it's pretty cool. Earlier we were doing a test. I was trying to share my screen so I could play GarageBand and play the song I've been writing. It would have been a world premiere, man.
World premiere.
Ooh, that would have been epic. A first world premiere musical.
But it's pretty, it's pretty cool. I've had time, and it's like I've been playing guitar since I was 12 years old. I was in metal bands back in the 80s and stuff, around San Diego and my friends and stuff. And I just didn't do it for a long time. And in the last few years, I've been picking them up and playing them, and I've been doing some writing lately, and it's pretty freaking cool. So I'm stoked. I've got a song that I've written the bass, 3 guitar parts, and all the lyrics. And I'm a horrible singer. So I'm like, damn. Now my nephew, he is an amazing singer. He's the guy that wrote the intro for my video. All my videos that I do, he wrote that intro music.
Yeah.
And he wrote the drums for this song. And I'm like, just please do the vocals. He goes, all right, Uncle Tony, if you will do your version of it, just so I can hear how it's done. I'm like, you just want to laugh at me. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he said, but if you'll do it, I'll probably sing it for you. I'm like, all right, man, geez. What are you going to do? But it's pretty cool. I'm really stoked on that. That's just something that it's, when you actually get to where you finished a song, almost, you're like, dude, that is so freaking cool. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of that.
We'll have to wait until you upload it to iTunes when it's available on iTunes. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I forget.
Spotify.
Spotify. Who runs that? Who runs Apple now? I forget that guy's name. It's Tim Cook. Is that his name?
Yeah.
We need to talk to him and allow access for audio on the iMacs for StreamYard. Damn it! You can't steal.
I'm thinking it was my thing, because there was a few things I clicked. It's the first time I've ever used this, and I think I clicked the wrong button. But
yeah, San Diego.
San Diego does have the greatest Mexican food ever, Chris Anderson. I'm going to tell you this right now. Siri, stop that.
Yeah,
Siri's popping up on my computer.
You're so close. You're so close.
Anyways, love some San Diego Mexican food, and that's where I grew up. And it makes me sad because
you miss Del Taco. You miss Del Taco.
No,
John. Have you ever?
Anyways,
no,
I grew up there,
joke.
and I
miss
Tim. Those tacos, man. Those shredded beef tacos with that crusty, fried shell. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I grew up with it, and I miss it. See, I think my computer is now not letting me hear you guys. Hold on.
I said Tim Cook and
testing.
No, God.
You gotta hate it when that happens. He's got the same issue. He might have to leave and come back. That's sometimes what it takes.
There we go. I'm back. I'm sorry.
There you go. That's okay. It was because we said the owner's name of Apple. He got upset. He heard it.
That was it.
That was it.
Because I didn't say her name, did I?
Yeah, I said
it just popped up.
Yeah. So now my iPhone will no longer work. So I'll have to check that later.
Anyways, I miss San Diego tacos. Roberto's, Araberto's, Gilberto's. It doesn't matter as long as it's Berto's. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the food there has always been good. So anytime you get so close to that border right there, you start to get some really authentic Mexican food.
Oh, yeah. You won't get that in North Carolina, I'm going to tell you that.
No, probably not. I remember the joke when I was in Buffalo visiting my uncle. I said, "Is there any good Mexican food here?" And he just started laughing. He goes, "This is Buffalo, New York, John." He goes, "We got a Taco Bell." I go, "That's not real Mexican food. That's American Mexican food."
Yeah, you got to stay near a toilet if you have it.
Yeah, no, you got to be on the. There's some other places, Texas too has got great Mexican food.
Yeah, absolutely.
Arizona's got amazing Mexican food. It's when you
Colorado does. Colorado, they have this green chili in Colorado that I freaking love. My wife is from Colorado, so they make this green chili with pork, little bits of pork in it, and they put it on burritos. Oh,
yeah,
it's good.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to jump into we're going to throw some questions at you, Tony, and
sure.
So. Let's see here. Let me get these questions up for you, Tony, and then we'll start with the first one here. When looking back at all the products you have reviewed, what innovation do you feel has made the biggest impact on the community, other than the Pulse Squonker, of course? Can't use the Pulse because we know what the Pulse did. Pulse is a game changer. So.
Well, it wasn't really a game changer, but it did allow people to enter into that squawk world without spending $200 or $300, and I think that helped Squawk definitely, because then we had manufacturers actually making them. And now, as far as innovations go, I'll tell you this: over the last maybe even 2 years, probably the biggest innovation is the standard mesh coil that you put inside your sub-ohm tank. And I'll tell you why, because I don't like mesh RTAs that much. I'll use them, but as far as putting them in those coils, I don't even know why you would put a round wire in those things anymore. Mesh in those things in a standard coil like that just works so good. But yeah, things like the AIOs that are out, I like AIOs. I'm not so big on pods, but stuff like the billet box, man, I have definitely fallen into the rabbit hole on the billet box for sure. Yeah. But yeah, this one here, this one's all tricked out. And of course, where is it?
I got to agree with you on the mesh coil. That is a big innovation change for sub-ohm tanks.
That little thing too, though, man, I love this thing, especially with once the RBAs started coming out. When I first got it, I did a video on it, and I was like, it's an AIO, because I didn't like the coils. I'm like, no, these coils aren't to my liking. But once I was able to put a RBA in that thing, I was like, oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. But yeah, this one's pretty tricked out. Look, I got some ODB wrap going there. And then who's on
the wrap? Who's on the wrap?
That I think is Chris from ODB Wraps. I think that's his wife.
Yeah.
And then that is a control inner there. So, and the button is from inner as well. It's pretty sweet. I mean, from control as well.
For people that don't know, owning a billet box is you have to put a second mortgage down on your home.
You do.
Yeah.
That's why I said I've fallen in the rabbit hole hard, because let me just just to tell you the ridiculousness of this. And I used to say sometimes when I review expensive mods, I'd be like, well, I understand that, like, I have a friend that when he buys tennis shoes, he'll buy freaking sneakers that cost $400, $500, $600 for a pair of sneakers. I'm like, you are out of your ever-loving mind.
Yeah.
I think $80, $90 is tops, right? So when you start looking at a billet box, the mod itself, $265.
Yeah.
If you can get one.
If you can get one. You got to get on the list. You got to get on the list.
No, it's not a list. You just have to I know. I'll give you the secret if you want me to tell you. The people are going to hate that. No, I won't.
Don't just.
The secret is have an account with Billet Box and be there.
Yeah,
on Saturday morning.
Saturday mornings when they go on sale.
Yep. So, anyways, the box itself, $265. I've got these inners in here that are from Control, and these inners are $235 for that back thing with the button. Yeah. And then this back one, this one also is part of it, the front one. And then this has these cool buttons instead of just the up and down arrows. Yeah, man, right. It's cool. And then the little screws that are on here, those are like $15. Battery wrap, another $8. The tip is $35. The RBA that's in there, the vape snail, that is about $125, I think. So yeah, you're getting into some money when you start doing this.
Yeah, it can get expensive.
It definitely makes me feel better about the Kodama editions I buy.
Yeah,
right. Those are not cheap either. I've got a couple of those.
They're cheaper now.
Yeah.
As Modus has been on a tear with their big 60% discounts and stuff.
$400 or $500.
Yeah, easily.
Not much of their stuff left though. That's the problem. It was been bought up pretty quick.
I almost sound a little embarrassed when I talk about this thing. I'm not bragging because I'm actually kind of like, ooh.
No, that's something.
Not much money, but hey, it's kind of that's my hobby. That's my thing.
Harley, you're a pain in my ass. Hurry up.
Well, you got to remember. I mean, shit. Not but 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Let me mute Tim. Not but 5 years ago. I mean, shit. We were spending close to $500-$600 for a tube mod.
Yeah, yeah.
And some up Lucius down there, he knows he was spending almost $1,000 on one.
Right. I won't say who it was, but I went to a vape convention one time in Atlanta, and before we went into the hall, he goes, "All right." He pulls out a roll of bills, and I was like, how much you got right there?" He said, "Oh, I've got about $2,500." I said, "For what?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, there's a mod in the modders gallery. It's it's hand carved and all this." And I'm like, wow, it's not going to cost that much, is it? He goes, "Well, almost, and then I'll have some money to buy some other stuff." I was like, dude, wow.
Yeah, those AV mods in the beginning were not cheap.
No.
They were not cheap, and they were selling like hotcakes because everyone, you know, that was into the tube mods 5 or 6 years ago really jumped on that bandwagon and just started buying up that stuff. And then before you knew it, there were trading sites.
Yep.
They were
Yeah.
just popping up, and people were trying to trade, you know, their mods, and people were like, "Why are these AV mods so expensive?"
Right.
That's one of the mods I don't have yet. Is one of the AV mods yet.
Yeah. I'll unmute you, Tim. Hold on there. There you go.
No, I was just gonna say hey to everybody in chat. Everybody saying hello. So I'm just.
Yeah, no, I had to mute you.
I got wiener dog problems. Sorry, I had to bail.
All we heard was you yelling at the dogs. I didn't want the SPCA coming after us for you yelling.
Oh my god, it's just it drives me nuts, man. I'm like, get it? Why now? Why couldn't you done this like an hour ago when you were sleeping? You know?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Well, that's what they do. They wait.
Yeah, they wait. They see you're busy. They see you're busy.
I thought when you stop the cam, you mute yourself. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, I going back to the question, I would have to agree with you on the mesh coils. I think that changed a lot. That innovation into the sub-ohm tanks with mesh coils was a big deal. It was a huge deal. I think it added some life to some of the coils because we were running into that issue with some of the UD coils and some of the other ones that people were complaining. Smock, they were lasting 2 weeks.
Oh.
They weren't
And
lasting
leaking.
even 2 weeks. They're either leaking or they would last like a day.
It almost seems like the mesh pushing against the cotton like that keeps it from leaking more or something, because I really haven't had leaking problems with any of the sub-ohm tanks that I've had recently for the channel that, you know. If you let them sit though, you know, I have people go, "Oh man, mine's leaking." I'm like, "Let me ask you something. How long do you let it sit?" Well, I've got like 3 vapes and I let it sit for 3 days. I'm like, "Well, there you go."
Yeah.
I mean, it's cotton. It's going to absorb and it's eventually just going to seep through.
It's going to get saturated, and then it's just it just becomes nothing there. Let's see here. What do we got here? I twist mesh up for 24, 26 gauge.
Really? Wow.
All right. What are your feelings on how YouTube has been treating the vape reviewers, and do you feel it's getting harder to put out a video each week with current regulations? Are you changing the way you're doing your videos? Are you comparing?
Well, I'll tell you this. I went through all my videos all the way from the beginning, which is like, wow, there's a lot. There was like 800 something videos when I did this. I went through all the videos. I deleted anything that was CBD. I deleted anything that was like that Umlaut watch, you know, any like old Jewel stuff or anything. I deleted all that because everybody was getting strikes, you know. I belong to a little social group on one of the apps, one of the messaging apps, and we all talk about it, and it's like, okay, so and so's getting a strike for this, everybody look out. So, you know, you don't know what I don't know what I'm up against ever. When it comes to YouTube. I'm like, so I don't know. But, you know, I randomly, every once in a while, I'll get a slew of emails from YouTube saying, this video has been deleted or this video has been whatever. And I'm like, that video is nothing. That wasn't even, I mean, it's okay, whatever. But I don't contest it because I'm just staying off the radar. You know, I have to go into my videos now and click the thing for recreational drugs, which I don't believe this is a recreational drug.
No, it's insane.
It's the only way for my videos to be able to be published. And I have, you know, not for kids and all that. I'm fine with making sure that as much as I can, that these videos are for adults, you know, but you know, I don't know sometimes what I can do and what I can't do. So I have to err on the safe side.
Well,
the other side of that, go ahead.
You had to go and remove all your links as well, right?
I did. I'm sorry, I left that out. I had to go through all that. Now, if I wanted to use something like TubeBuddy, there's an app that you can use, and you can go and change every description. Well, I didn't want to do that because you see your videos, and this is good information for anybody who's thinking about doing a YouTube channel. Your videos are they're also the search crawl by YouTube is done by your title, by the first part of the description, and the tags. So the first part of the description was important to me because each one of those first parts of the description, I say what the item is, you know? Right. So I was like, crap, I went through every freaking video.
So you had to go
took out. Yeah, and there were giveaway videos. I was like, do I delete the video or just take out the links?
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff. But it was, and I don't know. I don't know going forward if tomorrow they'll just say your channel's gone.
Yeah, you just don't know. And
I don't
and
know.
and what a lot of guys were upset about is the videos that they did pull off, or you decided to delete instead of trying
Right.
to edit or fix, that took away from your views as
Oh
well,
yeah.
your totals. So that pissed off a lot of people.
I've actually gotten to where, because monetization is anyways now. If you see an ad before one of my videos, it's like a testosterone ad or, a soap squatch or something,
Yeah.
whatever, and that's fine. I don't make crap from YouTube anymore. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't really, at this point, I'm not like I'm out going, I must get the most views more than anybody. I
Right.
have to be first or anything else because I don't really care now. What I care about is the people that watch my channel and that I put out videos that are at least enough information for them to be educated about the product that I'm looking at and have them be able to seek more information. I don't think that I should be the be all end all voice to tell you what to buy. I'm just
Yeah.
showing you it. It's kind of like I'm going to my friend's house and showing them something in their living room, like, look what I just got. Except for I've used it for a while and I'm saying, yeah, this is what I think of it. I do give my opinions, but I think it's up to you to decide what you should buy. I keep looking at this camera because this is where my camera is.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be frustrating when you look at some of these guys like yourself with 800 videos. You got indoor smoker, who knows how many he had to go through, and I don't know, I'm sure Rip went through his, and I'm sure he has a lot in there too, but I just felt that was just insane that it made you guys go all the way back from the beginning to take away links.
Yeah, I'm like, look, if it's something that you allowed years ago, why
Yeah.
are you sweating me? Just
Yeah.
don't worry about that. I won't do it from here on out, or if you identify one that you are offended by, let me know so I can fix that instead of like, oh, you better fix every one of them, because if you get 3 strikes, you're out.
You're
And
out.
that doesn't mean just taking your YouTube down. That means killing your Gmail, your Google Drive, everything. You're out of the Google economy, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. I mean, how many people today are going to pull a video of the MVP 20?
Exactly my point.
I just got the MVP 20 from a buddy of mine. I think I'll go on YouTube and look it up.
Believe it or not, though, I'll get a comment because I check my comments, and I'll get a comment here and there from somebody a device that's 4 years old, and they're like, "Yeah, my friend just gave me this. I was trying to figure out how to use it. Thanks for the video." I'm like, "Wow, you're using that? That's cool."
Hey, I laugh because I brought up the MVP 20 because I gave one away to a buddy of mine, and that's been in 3 different hands. And yesterday I found out it's in another person's hands. It still works, he said, but it doesn't have the battery life it used to. So it gets him about halfway through the day. But it's a perfect little kind of setup for someone to start with. All right, let's get into our next question. Because ZampleBox has so many first-time users, what would be your advice on getting started with picking the right device and nicotine strength, Tony?
Well, here's the deal. When I first started, I went with the most simple device possible because that's what was given to me. It was just a little just a battery, like your normal pens that are out there, and a little skinny tank. That's what got me started. That's what got me going. And then I figured out what I wanted. So I'd say take the most simple thing that you can get, even if it's a stupid views from the gas station, because we'll talk about that in a minute. But even if it's that, whatever it is to get you started, and then you'll find something that will fit for you. But here's the thing. What I don't like about the gas station stuff and the Vuses and all those, although many people are using them, 50 milligrams is just far too much. I don't care who you are or what you've been smoking. I think they say a Marlboro Red is like 36 milligrams. If you smoke Marlboro Red, it's kind of the same as vaping a 36 milligram juice. That's what I heard somewhere. So I would say you don't need to go over 25. If I do Nic salts, I do 25 milligrams. And in something like the .AIO, because I'm running, low wattage and a higher ohm build over 6 ohms. So if you had a coil that's 0.6 ohms, you wouldn't want to have something much higher than that. And really, you could go with a lower nicotine, like a standard liquid, but you might not get the satisfaction if you're a smoker.
Yeah.
So, I don't care what. Here's my thing. I don't care what you use to get started. Just don't smoke. I mean, I've gotten to that point where because I was telling John earlier a story about around Christmas time. I have a couple friends with kids, and I took them out to take them shopping for their moms and their girlfriends. I'm the older dude, so I'm like, yeah, sure. And I took them for a beer. I noticed that they were they were vaping, but they were using Views, and they were like, yeah, sorry, man, because I used to give one of them free vape stuff, and then he just stopped asking. I thought maybe he got off of it. Well, no, he had the Views, and I was like, well, it's okay as long as you're not smoking. And I said, I said to myself, I think this is probably, unfortunately, what is the end game for tobacco and the government. They want to make it so normalized that you don't even think about buying something like this. You just go buy one of those.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but I want people off of cigarettes. So what are you going to do?
Just get started. That's what I tell them. Just get started and try to
find a flavor you like. That is ultra important. Find a flavor that you like, because otherwise you're like, but once you find that one, you'll stick with it.
That's getting harder. It's going to start getting harder.
Let me simplify this. If you're going to do regular nicotine and you're a smoker, getting onto vapes, I would say 12 milligram as a minimum. 6 milligram might get you by, but you're going to need a little bit more nicotine. If you're going to go salts, 25 milligram. I guess that would have been the short answer.
Totally agree.
Yep.
Yes. All right. It's always fun hearing a successful vape transition story from a vape YouTube reviewer. Is there a special one you'd like to share with our viewers?
Well, the way I came to vape was through my mom. Now, see, I'm a little bit older, and I grew up in Southern California, in San Diego. In Southern California, you could smoke at school as long as you had your parents sign your smoking permit. I mean, you didn't have to be old enough to smoke because the age was 18. And so, we had a fenced off area with yard duties that would check your pass. And so there you go. I posted a couple of those pictures on social media recently. People thought they were pretty funny because I had my mullet. It was pretty awesome. And so anyways, my mom was the one who signed my smoking pass. So many, many years later, in 2013, she came to visit me in North Carolina, which is a tobacco state, and you didn't find vape shops and real vapes. You just had the blue cig is all you could find. And the ones that they had at the mall and the kiosk, they were horrible. And I was like, nope, tried them. So mom came to visit from San Diego, and she brought just an Ego pen and a VV Nova Mini tank, just the crappiest stuff you could get, and some Villain Vapors, which sadly just went out of business because of all this PMTA stuff. Villain Vapors, Bonnie and Clyde. And I tried it, and I was like, you know what? This is actually good. It was just a mixed berry flavor. And I was in, man. Within 2 weeks, I was completely out the cigarettes. And that's actually how the YouTube channel started, because I was like, well, I started looking at YouTube, and P. Basardo's videos were too long. And come on, I told him that in person. He knows I think that. I was like, come on, 45 minutes for the VV Nova Mini, Phil. Come on. I needed 5 minutes of that. I came from a radio broadcast background, so I was like, I know how to shorten this up. And the other videos were like this MFer here and this MFer there. And I was like, no, my mom would not watch this. I wanted to make a channel that my mom could watch, but the guy down the street could too. Yeah. And by doing that, not cursing, keeping things in real life, man, I curse like a sailor, but keeping things clean and just trying to keep things short and informative, and trying to make it look because I also own a video production company. So I was like, try to keep it as good looking as possible and no distractions in the background. And you know what? Channel took off, did good, so. Yeah,
you were the first one that I noticed had that clean background. No mods, no tanks, no gear anywhere, just that nice clean black background and you.
I would watch videos and I'd have to keep rewinding because I was like, what did he say? Oh, because I'd be looking at the mods and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what is that? What's he got? Oh, what's that?
What's
And then, so I was like, let me just make it black and I don't have to worry about it. Also, this room that I'm using now was it was like a hoarder's mess. It was horrible. I'm ashamed of how it looked. There was a green screen on the wall and a table right in the middle, chair behind it, and I was able to get in here and do my stuff. There was a time where the amount of product that was being sent, DHL, UPS, and FedEx would all come in one day.
Yeah.
And then there'd be something in the post office. And, it was piling up. It was like, geez, I was like, I'm going to have to do 2 videos a day to do all this. And for a little bit, I did do that. And I was like, what are you doing? You don't need to do that.
Yeah, I bet it got to the point too, like even for me when I was doing the photos, they would just send it. They never would even ask if I wanted it. And I'm like, what is this? I can imagine what you were getting every day coming in.
Yeah. And I like literally keep stuff in my truck in case I encounter somebody, like maybe I'm at a restaurant or something like that. And they see me vaping and they're smoking and I go, hold on a minute. I go right to my truck, get them one. Here you go. Here's the juice.
Nice.
Here's a mod. That's the kind of thing that I like to do,
Nice.
And so I tried to give it all away and was like, I just can't give it all away. So I was like, look, I put it all on a kitchen table one day and said, all my friends, come over, take what you want.
Take what you want. It's just
take what you want.
It's indoor garage sale. Indoor vape garage sale.
But it made me feel good anyways. I'm like, hey, I don't care. I don't need all this stuff. Jeez. So there's less products coming to answer the question, end of the question. Regulations, less products coming. And, Chinese companies are unsure of what to do about the U.S. market. European companies, everybody's unsure about what to do about the U.S. market.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, man, times are tough all over, man, if you're in the U.S.
Yeah. And you've got enough followers now to where you can be very selective on what you want to review. You go about that as well. When certain products come in, you kind of look at it.
There's a lot of stuff that comes in that I'm like, you really don't want me to review that.
No.
I have actually written an email back and said, yeah, let me give you, here's a few thoughts before I even tell you that I'm not going to do.
Yeah.
It's just in your best interest.
Yeah, I can imagine some of the stuff that comes in there. And it's funny because a lot of them have their sister companies, but you can just see the quality difference from product to product, and you're just like,
oh, yeah.
You might want to rethink this, the way it works. And I've had them come in.
Sometimes you look at it and you're like, do you even vape? What is this?
Yeah. All right, let me jump in here. What bit of advice would you give someone who is considering getting into vape reviews on YouTube? Kind of like equipment, style, technique, stuff like that, Tony.
Okay, first thing I can tell you is be yourself. Because often when people are starting YouTube channels, they go, okay, I want to take a little bit from this channel, a little bit from this channel, a little bit from that one. And then they don't sound like themselves. They sound like all these different channels. You should just, whoever you are, man, just do your channel that way. Equipment wise, man, phones nowadays, they have such good video cameras on them. You could pretty much do a channel with a phone, it would be a good idea to have some lights. Even with the iPhone, there is a mic that you can get for the iPhone. Check this out. There's a microphone for the iPhone that you can get that has an iPhone connector and plugs right in. It's from Sennheiser, $200.
Yeah, the Sennheiser.
Yeah, good mics are the key, man. Good mics are the key to good sound, because I don't have good sound at night because I'm just using these, but they are, because even Steven Spielberg once said, if you have the best movie but the worst sound, people will walk out of that movie saying, I hated that movie and I don't know why.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. Bad sound is annoying. So that's a key. But, if you can afford some camera stuff, I'm going to tell you, doing a YouTube channel, all these guys can tell you, it is not cheap. Canon cameras, Sony cameras, all that stuff, not inexpensive. So be prepared to spend some money. I don't think people realize how much money people spend to do this. It can be quite expensive. The other thing is time. It takes time, and you have to cultivate your channel. You have to do a lot, and you have to somehow figure out ways to, work within communities and on maybe Facebook or with ZampleBox or whatever to, just to let people know you're there. And, really, it's going to be tough going if you try to do a YouTube channel now. I'm just going to tell you.
So many new channels coming up
Yeah.
with reviewers, and it's great. I mean, it's good to see because it gives the consumer another opinion, another view of the product that maybe the bigger YouTube channels aren't focusing on, or O-rings, or stuff like that. Most of you guys kind of just blow through. It's just like, okay, yeah, here's the
Well, we get, here's the thing. Most of them are pretty much, you know what you're looking at. And if you don't, you probably shouldn't have this because it's rebuildable, so I'm kind of like, and it's funny because I'll do a video and maybe I forget stuff sometimes. I'm sorry, you're filming a video, like I did the Profile M. Somebody's like, you didn't even say what the flavor was like. I'm like, well, if the flavor sucked, I would say that.
You would have said
it's really not there. I'm like, I would have said it's really not there or something. You know what I mean? But if I was like, yeah, I really like it, it's good. Hey, I'm actually going to use this one. Then that should tell you all you need to know. Come on, man.
I mean, everyone, all of you big time YouTube vape reviewers, you guys all have your own different style, and it's great because each one of you have a different way of the way you guys look at a product. And if you really want to, you basically are all getting pretty much all the same products pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
So it's a good chance.
If you want the technical stuff, you're going to go Basardo, maybe DJ LSB. If you want to get a good look at the product, then you might come to me. If you want somebody to BS about it for a while, you might go to another channel. So there's something for everybody. And I don't think my channel is for everybody. It's fine. You know what I mean? It's like when I first started this, I had to learn, like, not everybody's going to like you. That's okay. So.
How tough was that in the beginning when I know how you can get hooked reading your comments.
Oh, well, I answered every comment in the beginning.
You did.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I think that really helped the channel because
you stayed active.
People want to hear from you and want to know that you're a real person, that you're not hiding behind something, that you're not, Rip Tripper's a great guy. He doesn't answer very many comments, so it's like that. But,
we got a question there from Tracy. If you want to answer that for her.
I'll tell you what, with editing, man, look, I use a Mac. I have used a Mac for many years, and I actually own a video production company. I do television commercials and all that kind of stuff, real estate commercials, instructional videos. I use Final Cut Pro, and I know when Final Cut Pro X came out, people were like, oh, this is bogus, man. It's not, you can't make movies on this. Well, they've made movies on it, man. It's like, look, it works great. If you've got a Mac, $300 is all that costs. It's a friggin' amazing piece of software that used to cost $2,500 when I first started.
It's a very expensive software.
Yeah. So, and it works great, especially if you're going to do YouTube videos because it's magnetic timeline. So as you cut it. So say when I'm shooting my videos, if I make a mistake, you'll see the edits. When I make a mistake, I'll be like, I just pause for a second and then restart from where I made the mistake. It's just tricks of the trade is what you do. Sometimes you see the edit, sometimes you don't. But so when you're using a magnetic timeline, you make a cut and then you have that pause, you make another cut, click it and then delete. And then the whole rest of the timeline just goes whoop, and slides back and snaps into place. It's beautiful. You don't have anything go out of, because like on Premiere or the old Final Cut Pro, when I'd move stuff down, pieces would move out of whack or just a little bit out of time. Never happens with Final Cut Pro.
Yeah.
It's fast. For editing a YouTube video, I can edit one of my videos in about an hour and a half.
Yeah, and I think it's linked. Isn't it linked to YouTube as well?
Yeah, but I don't use that.
They change. You don't use it. Yeah.
You can do that, but I export mine and then upload it because I export it with my own settings. But you don't have to do that. Yes, you can just click a button and go boom, and it'll right up to YouTube for you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't realize
iMovie does that, and
how.
iMovie's free. If you have a Mac, iMovie is Final Cut Pro light.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Well,
it
I
works.
mean, it's all of them are expensive. Once you start looking into video editing software, they're all expensive. So some of them are like Photoshop. They've went with the monthly subscription just to. Yeah, I know.
I'm like, look, people that go, no, it's great. I pay $50 and I get the whole suite. I'm like, yeah, $50 a month, and that's for life. And by the way, so because I do television commercials, so say you have a client that comes back a year later, and you've now switched editing systems. You're not using Premiere anymore. You're now using a new system. You've changed everything over, whatever, Avid, whatever. And they come back and want a revision. Well, guess what? You got to pay Adobe just to open that project and do a revision. That's BS, dude.
Yeah,
So, and now think about it. If you acquiesce and become one of those sheep that pays those monthly bills, then every company then goes, this is a great business model. They're doing awesome on the stock market. We should do it too. So guess what? Now every piece of software you have, you're paying monthly for. I don't want that.
Look at TV. They're doing the same thing. Like you can't watch half your shows unless you get like something plus online.
Yeah. Well, I think they're doing it as well as to try to stop somewhat of the people downloading legal software and trying to use it on there. So they're not getting the updates. They're not getting any of the improvements to the software. I mean, there's reasons why they're doing it, that monthly subscription thing. And it drives me nuts because I have my Adobe subscription, and it's just like every month I'm paying on that, and I'm just keep looking, do I really need this anymore? And I'm the same way. If I get rid of this now.
I paid for Adobe CS6, and I'm using that when I have to use Photoshop. It's on my computer that still runs it with Lightshot. I'm good to go with that, Lightroom and Photoshop, because I paid for it.
Yeah,
I bought that software.
Yeah. Well, do you script your videos, Tony? Or
No,
you just go right into it, huh?
Yeah, because in the beginning, I would I don't want to say rehearse it, but I would pace the bedroom for a few minutes and go, okay, today we're taking a look at the, because I didn't want to edit as much, maybe. I don't know. Whatever it is, I wanted to be perfect. And I was like, to be perfect, man, you know what? It's easier if you just go in there and go, all right, today we're looking at this.
Yeah.
Hey, so here's what I think about it. They could probably do this, that kind of thing. I prefer that. It does create more edits because I make more mistakes, but it's whatever.
In the beginning, though, when I did my first one, I for some reason I felt like I had to do it in that one take.
I did that too.
Did you get to that?
On the first 5 videos, I was like, I got to do this in one take. And so I had to redo it after getting 3/4 of the way through the video.
Yeah.
Son of a gun.
then it clicks. Then it's like, wait, why don't I just edit this and put it together?
Duh. Yeah. What am I doing?
It just, I don't know what it was. And I think it's not even just because I hear a lot of guys that got into it. They're like, wow, I tried to get it on that first take. Right. And then they didn't get it. But then what I did, which I wasn't thinking in the beginning, I was deleting that take. Instead of keeping it there, I would delete the take and then try it again and then screw up and then delete the take again. So it was horrible, man.
Man, I'm never going to get this done.
Yeah. And then I realized, well, John, you have video editing software. You can cut the pieces that are wrong, paste them with the other one.
Right.
I just didn't, maybe, I don't know, maybe for me, and maybe you did the same thing, but I would kind of look on the comments where people were like, God, so many jump cuts. And that kind of got in my head. Like,
I never did. I was like, I don't care. Well, what do you care about the jump cuts?
Yeah.
I mean, I think some people don't want them because they think you're hiding something, but it's like, no, sometimes I just F up a little bit and I gotta edit this.
I said the F word and I had to cut it out.
I never do. I worked in radio for 16 years as a morning personality, night guy. I was a DJ, program director, music director, and all that kind of stuff. So once the camera turns on or whatever, nice guy, it's like the mic turning on. I know not to curse because you can't.
Yeah, you can't.
Radio, so now the only time I've ever said a bad word, like a full on bad word, was when I said BS on the video when I was having a war with a.
You can say bullshit here, Tony.
Okay, bullshit. I said this is some bullshit on the video.
There you go.
And people were like, "Oh, he means business." I'm like, well, I did. I really did mean business. I don't say that, you know. But yeah, hey,
I was kind of curious on just how you set your videos up and if where you script it, because a lot of people always ask that question to YouTube reviewers. You know, how do they get started? What to buy? What's important? What do I need right now? And it's funny hearing everybody's story, because some guys like Mike started out with his iPhone. And he shot all his videos with his eye. I mean, a lot of you guys started out with iPhones, you know, or whatever cell phone they had at the time. So
when people ask me, that's what I tell them. I'm like, do you have a cell phone? Is it like within the last year? Use that. Get yourself started. Just make videos. And by doing that, you'll find out who you are. Because when you start, you know, it's like when I was in radio, you know, you turn the microphone on and something's got to come out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And it's live. So you better do it.
Yeah.
You know, so when you do stuff in front of a camera, you have to watch it. And then you're like, oh God, is that me? You know, you'll find out who you are. You start doing stuff on camera. Go ahead.
All right. I've been hooked watching your other channel, the Picky Eaters channel. How fun has it been doing that show? And will you be getting back to uploading videos on there soon?
Yeah, I love that channel. But you know, that channel is a labor of love for me, because it's one that my wife kept encouraging me to do. I'm a picky eater, man. I can't help it. Look, I'm over 50, all right, and I eat like a 3-year-old, and I can't help it. It's just how I can't eat onions, tomatoes, peppers, mushrooms, all that stuff. And look, I wish I could. That's my thing. I'd like to go into a restaurant and just order anything on the menu and be like, arr, arr, mow through that. But I can't, man. The stuff literally will make me want to throw up in my mouth. Yeah. So I can't do it. So I've figured out a lot of ways around being a picky eater, and also ways to hide it when you're in groups of people and stuff. So, you know, like pizza, the pizza episode on there, that's the one my wife, we were eating pizza one night and she goes, dude, you need to do a video on that. And I said, I'm not putting that on my Vapor Trail channel. She said, you should start another channel and put that on there. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. So when I eat pizza, just as a preview, when I eat pizza, I just don't like the squishy tomato sauce on there. All right. Wow. So I take the cheese off like a blanket and I pull it back. And then I scrape the sauce off with my finger.
What?
And I rub it on the side of the plate. And the plate just has freaking sauce all the way around it.
Oh.
And it's disgusting. And, you know, nobody wants to see you do that, especially with your fingers. And as people said on the video, in the comments, they're like, dude, why don't you just, like, you know, use a knife or a fork? And I'm like, well, it's not the same. Also, you don't always have a knife or a fork. Yeah. And, you know, if I'm at a party and that's all they have is freaking pizza, I'm like, oh. Now I got to kind of like slide off into the corner and be like, throw that in the trash. I can eat it. You know, it's embarrassing, but you know, whatever. I figured, let me put I'll put the stuff on there that's embarrassing. I don't care.
Or you could just order a pizza with no tomato sauce, Tony.
That's what everybody said. And I said, well, that's where you're wrong, because that's cheese bread.
Yeah, it's cheese bread.
It's not the same. I like the flavor. I just don't want the sauce. I'm a weirdo. Okay. So I think I'm going to do some other stuff on that channel though, too. Like, cause I did do a couple things with guitar stuff. In fact, on that channel, I do have a video of me doing Wish You Were Here from Pink Floyd. You know, so maybe I'll do some guitar stuff and stuff on there. There's some other stuff from my life that I'd like to share, you know? So I think I might do some of that stuff on that channel. And, you know, it's maybe some more personal stuff, you know, the real tone, you know.
Well, those of us that have you as a Facebook friend know you got your barbecue there. So you're going to be doing some stuff on the channel.
Traeger grill, man. Yeah. Traeger grill. Now, look, people that go, yeah, you can't hide money. I'm like, dude, no, that Traeger grill. I have a relative that a brother-in-law that works for Traeger, and he's able to get a really good discount maybe once or twice a year. Yeah. And so right after Christmas, he's like, bro, they got 3 of them on the website and I got the discount. I was like, get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, smoking brisket, smoking ribs. I made brisket flatbread pizza, I guess you could call it, but flatbread. And I even did a smoky beef stew.
Yeah. Zachary, do you want red sauce on your pizza though?
No, he wants pineapple.
He wants no. Don't say
I eat
pineapple.
pineapple. I eat pineapple on pizza.
No,
I'm a pineapple guy.
Tom. How can
Yeah.
you be a picky eater and eat pineapple on pizza?
I'm going to give you a vape-related story for that. Okay,
Yeah.
so all my life, again, I'm over 50, not very much, but anyways, all my life, I have thought that I hated pineapple. But you know, I always like those yellow lifesavers. And when I got vape juice that was pineapple, I was tasting it. I was like, oh, it's like the yellow lifesavers. Maybe I like pineapple. And I tasted pineapple after that and said, I like pineapple. And now I can't get enough of it. So vape made me like pineapple.
Oh man. Yeah, hopefully you get a full production video out there with the Trader Grill.
I'm going to.
You should.
Well,
You should go live. You should go live.
Be like, all right, we're going to be out here for 4 hours. By the end of this, I will be drunk as hell.
Get your 18 pack, put it right there.
But halfway through, I'll be like, we're making a brisket today.
We're gonna make some meat.
My wife said I shouldn't be drinking the hard stuff, but I got the Jameson.
Yeah. And you go out there and get the close up of you basting your meat and getting it ready to go.
Yeah, people will be like, I don't know why he's doing this, but
hey, I'm willing to bet you would get a couple hundred people just watching because everybody loves watching food being cooked. It's
weird, isn't it? It is.
I'd watch that.
I did want to say earlier you were asking about new technology. I have a video that I'm going to be doing. I guess that is Friday morning. The Find F. So this is a mod from Inikin, and well, first of all, they've got this nice like recycled packaging that they've switched to. They're trying to be responsible. The mod actually looks pretty dang sweet. Look at this thing.
I'm going to put you on solo layout so that people can see it better there, Tony. Hold on there. There you go.
So,
it's a good looking mod.
Nice.
Very good looking.
Tank on it here. Let me just pull it out of there. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
So,
now that I got a better look at it, it does kind of have a little bit of that.
Well, they're all starting to kind of look like that.
The Geek Vape is it?
But
Geek
here's
Vape?
the thing with this.
It's Inikin.
Inikin, yeah, no. I said it's got that look like.
Yeah.
Is it the G Primp? I can't remember the name of it.
You see that right there? See how there's a question mark?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Find F on this thing. First of all, they've. Oh man, where is that? Hey, hold on 1 second. I'm going to read this to you. Hold on. Oh, this isn't the thing, but this is similar. Anyway, so they have different modes on this thing that Inikin's been trying to come out with technologies that other people haven't had. And they've come out with some pretty cool stuff. So they've got, so it has 3 new modes: Coil Plus, Refresh, and a bonus unlockable F0 mode. The Find F is an upgraded. Activate Coil Plus mode to extend coil life and deliver more flavors to satisfy your taste buds. The refresh button or refresh function resets the coil between hits to extend coil life. And then it features this F0 new bonus mode. And I read something, one of the guys that is one of their engineers or whatever is also a doctor, says that is a game-changing technology, that hidden feature that's in there. And you get to it, let's see, 1, 2, 3. There's no. All right. I haven't put anything in here or used it yet. So I filmed the video today, and it will be publishing for the unboxing on Friday. But I don't know. Hey, look, I'm curious to find out what this technology does. And tomorrow I'm going to load this thing up and try the Coil Plus and Refresh and see what that's all about. But, anything that extends the life of your coils and gives you more flavor, I think is probably a good thing. But
nice.
New technology, we'll see.
All right, I got my last question for you, Tony. What new products do you have out on the market, and where can we find them?
Well,
Congrats.
currently the Pulse V2, which yes, there you go, right there. Pulse V2 is what I've got on the market. It's a great mod, and to me, I wish this thing was out about a year and a half to 2 years ago, because it's freaking, man, it is the best of all the Pulse mods. It has everything that I've ever wanted on that mod, including easy filling. That bottom filling thing is just, I'd seen similar bottom fill ideas on some high-end mods. In fact, I own one that I was like, I even talked to the maker and said, so I'm gonna use the bottom fill thing, but I'm gonna make it mine. And he's like, go ahead, man. So anyways, that bottom fill, man, it makes it easy, and it keeps the bottle lined up with the 510. That is the best thing to do when it comes to a squonk, so that the juice is going to go. If you're unfamiliar with those guys, it's a bottle inside the mod that you push. And dang it, where is mine? Anyways, you push the bottle and it squirts the juice up inside your RDA, the dripper. Anyways, it's a great mod. Waterproof chip. If you can get the app to work on an iPhone, great. It probably won't. I've got it to work a couple of times, but it works fine on an Android phone, and it has Find My Mod. Okay.
Find my mod.
See, here's what happened is I was telling the engineers, I go, see my watch? Okay, I can hit this button right here and I can find my phone. All right. Yeah. So I want to be able to find my mod like that. That's what I want. And they're like, yeah, your phone and your watch use GPS. And I said, can we put that in there? And they said, nope. It's too expensive. They said, all right, but Bluetooth we can do. So that app, when it works right, when it's working right, the app, actually, you can set it so that if you walk more than whatever distance you've set, like 15 feet away from your mod, your phone will alert you. So say you're out drinking at a picnic or something like that and don't want to leave your mod. By the time you get to your car, your phone's telling you left your mod, dude. And then when you get over there, you can hit the button to ping it, and the mod will ping. That's freaking amazing. And then Apple shut us down on that.
That would have helped me when the guy stole my Carbon from the music festival.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been able to at least locate maybe where it was.
Ping, 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 dude.
That's why your pocket peeping.
You could have tracked him down, Tim.
Well, not to interrupt on this one, but people have seen the thing advertised called the Tile. Have you seen that?
Tile.
Yeah, I think the Tile uses Bluetooth technology in order to do the kind of echolocation. So right. I mean, it's short range. So I mean, you can't go too far, but
yeah,
seemed helpful. Maybe it's the same kind of technology in a mod.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I've posted in the ZampleBox page, features that you guys would like to see in a mod, and Bluetooth always comes up. And what are some of the other ones? You guys remember some of the other ones that?
We've had these conversations multiple times. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing. I have no problem with a mod being multifunctional or having other elements to it. I mean, they got battery chargers out now that are Bluetooth, and you can monitor your battery charging at a distance. I think where I get you walk into that gray area is like if you take a mod and you make it do 20 different things, is it gonna start to lack in areas where you want it to excel at what it's designed for, and that's vaping. So I'm not trying to say don't add some features.
Right.
Yeah.
Just maybe don't make it do so much. Radios and MP3 players and blah, blah, blah.
No, yeah. Well, they had those,
Tony, remember that one that had the game on it?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a real good idea.
Let's put a game on the mod.
I mean, look, we've seen a lot of stuff, haven't we? And if you've gone to conventions, you've seen stuff that you're like, there's no freaking way. No, just put that away. just put it away. That's no. You might sell that in China or Japan, Hachikuro girls or something like that, wearing it around their neck. But even like that milk tea thing, I was like,
Yeah. Well, Anakin had the light. I thought that was great because that light comes in very handy. You're going to your car.
And it has a compass.
As Modus does it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Anakin MVP has a compass, a light, and even has SOS on it, man. That's
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but those are functional elements that would come in at a time when you could really use something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
who doesn't need a light every now and again to see something, especially when you wake up at like 3 a.m. and you're like, oh, I'm gonna hit my vape. You can't even. You can't find stuff on the table, your glasses, your phone. Like, let's grab my vape and just find everything. Yeah.
You got the 10,000 lumen light fucking.
Heck yeah.
Oh, we got one of those for Christmas. Those, the ones that you see that has the 3 like fins on it with all the lights on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, our ceiling fan in the office that has a single thing. So we put it on there. Holy crap, man, that room is bright. I'm like, I should put one of those in my studio. I wouldn't even need my lights. But so like at night, it's upstairs. So at night, it looks like when you look out the front door, like there's headlights or something. You're like, what? Somebody pulling up? No, it's just the lights from upstairs. Those things are bright. If you ever think about getting one.
Yeah. That was all my questions. Unless anybody has any questions in the viewers there that want to ask Tony, and I'm going to go ahead and give to the guys. Brian, you have any questions for Tony?
Brian always has a question.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Well,
He took a deep breath.
Yeah, I'm like, oh boy.
As soon as you brought the mod out, you said that there was this bonus unlockable mode, and the first thing I thought of, which is actually in the comments, is what button combination do you need to press to unlock that?
It is. It's a Konami code is what it is basically. Yeah. And it's a combination of buttons and there's clues. That's what I was saying. Like on the inside of this thing here, maybe you guys can help me. All right. I'll tell you what it says. So there are 6 squares here. They all start with F. Future, flavor, fight, factor, first, then question mark. And they're all in those little squares. So I'll read them again. Future, flavor, fight, factor, first, question mark. If I could bring this thing up here. Oh, look, here we go. I think this might have it. No. Well.
Oh, great. A QR code to figure it out. Drink your Ovaltine, right? Your Ovaltine?
That takes you to their group.
Oh, okay. Darn. I thought it was a Dakota ring.
But there's some
literature on there.
Join us and find F together. Get the latest info on the F. What the F? Enjoy faster services and share experience with fellow vapors. Faster services. F. Can you find it? Is that like the G spot? Can you find it?
It's fine.
Scan that barcode on the back.
I did. It takes you to the Facebook group.
Oh, it takes you to the Facebook group.
Yeah. Let's see here. Hold on. Let me see something. It
says type in the right F5 code to self-control. God.
Okay. So in the settings, you see there's a lock down there. Okay. So see, you got to punch in your code. It's a combination of keys.
Oh, whoa.
Interesting.
So is that one word or more than one word?
Way too much work for a mod.
I think they're numbers or something because, you've got.
Oh,
let's
man.
See. Let's see. I just haven't had time to really get in here and mess with it. All right, so it says press the power button plus.
It would make you so mad if it brought up a game instead.
Hey, Zachary, Tony has a juice line.
I had a juice line.
Sorry.
No, please try again. So I have not found F. I had a juice line. It was Sugar Lips. One flavor is still being produced, but it is only being sold overseas. Sad.
Overseas?
Yeah, I don't have $300,000 per
Come on, Tony.
And the flavor, the one flavor is.
Hey, Amy.
It's the blue raspberry flavor.
I haven't seen that name in a long time. Hello, Amy Hanks.
So it's we can't sell it here.
You know Amy, right, Tony?
I think I do.
Yeah.
I had another question actually. So
take a deep breath first.
Right. There's been a lot of mods coming out with like little tanks on top, like kind of like the one you just showed.
Yeah.
Now, how do you see that progression going? Because it went from like, drippers, RDAs, and stuff to disposables and quick little ones back up again. So where do you see that trend really going? Do you see everyone sticking with that, like a pod mod setup like that, with the Ursa is another one
It
that
seems like nobody wants to make, nobody really wants to make anything square. Nobody wants to
They
make anything,
don't. I
nobody
noticed
wants
that
to
too.
make nobody wants to make box mods anymore. I still like box mods. I mean, clearly.
Yeah.
And the pulse. I like box mods. Yeah, the form factor of these is nice.
It's pocket friendly.
This has a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. It's built in. It's pocket friendly. They work a lot better than I thought when I had first seen them, because I was like, oh, I hadn't gotten any, and I'd seen a couple of them out there, and I was like, oh, okay, well, once I'd gotten a couple of them, I'm like, they actually work pretty good. So it's really what it is. It's blurred the lines. Like, what is a pod system?
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Right. That's kind of what I was alluding to is with the progression back up to from like
I mean,
pod systems to up to like a mod pod system is what they're calling it.
here's another one right here. The
Yeah,
RDS.
they're all that kind of rounded, semi-tubular SX
And
Mini.
Of course, then
Look.
people start making the comparisons. Well, that looks like the X or the Y, and I'm like, well, it's cyclical. That's how it works in vaping. If you haven't noticed, once somebody makes something that is appealing to people and the people are buying, they go, I can do something like that. And maybe it's not all that original, but hey, look, what if only one company was allowed to make that shape, and you hated that mod, but you like the shape?
Yeah,
that would suck. The cars are all kind of the same. Rims, they're pretty similar, that kind of thing. So I don't know, man. It's kind of tricky.
Bootleg that juice, Tony. Bootleg it out of the trunk of your car. Just drive around the country the dude that started McDonald's.
I think remaining stock of that juice is available through mojovapor.com.
Oh, Mojo.
Yeah. So I think remaining of it, but anything after what was remaining in the U.S. stock, I know I want to bootleg it because it's freaking good. And I mean, while I helped create the juice, I don't have the means to make it. You know what I mean? Not like that. I can make it for me. I have been working on some flavors though, because
Amanda.
The people that are in Europe that are buying this are like, give us more flavors.
Yeah.
So
How are you doing in that
do
market? How are you doing in that market?
It does pretty good over there, I mean, especially the UK.
Yeah.
But that flavor, if you like blue raspberry, that it's so good. So good.
Maybe I noticed that the UK market, they really like their desserts. They like their desserts and donuts, coffee, cheesecakes. They're not so much into the fruits, which is kind of weird.
Right? They like pastries and stuff.
Pastries.
Yeah, a lot of tart.
Yeah, just you could do like that guy from McDonald's. He was just driving around selling milkshakes from the trunk of his car. You can be selling that blue raz out of the.
Like, what's up? I got the blue pucker. Blue pucker over here, man.
I got blue pucker here. Blue pucker. Oh, Tony.
It is good stuff, man.
Well, we want to thank you, Tony. You can stick around if you like to stick around for the rest of the show. We got about another hour show left here, but I want to say thank you for taking the time to come on with us. We really appreciate you being here, and it's always great to hear from you. Always great to hear.
I appreciate you guys, wanting me on the show. I think it's pretty cool. It's I don't know. The way YouTube is now and the way everything is kind of detached, and I don't have as much of a, I've got a pretty good following on Facebook and I can keep in touch with people there, but it's, it's not just the way YouTube or vaping is, it's the way society has become, everybody's so splintered and to themselves. And it's like, man, so that's why, I think if there's one thing that we should all try to do is just, if you see somebody who needs help, freaking help them, man. Instead of like going, oh no, just do what you can to help.
That's it.
That's our thing here.
I do have one quick question for you, Tony.
Yeah, what's that?
Where can I find panels for the Pulse?
So
Make your own.
here's the thing. I always wanted them to do the extra panels on
Mm-hmm.
every one of the mods. In the past, they did, but they ended up with what they call dead stock, right? So stock that's in a warehouse somewhere that
Mhm.
like, oh, we made it, nobody bought it. They didn't want all that dead stock this time, and I don't blame them with the way, the volatility of the market and stuff. They're like, we're not going to do extra panels. However, there is a guy, CS Wood Designs, and you can find him. Hold on, I think it's. Let me find his website real quick.
Yeah, you could post it on there if you like, Tony,
Mhm.
in the chat. I posted all of Tony's links in there, and I will post them again for the Picky Eaters channel, his the Vapor Trail channel on YouTube, and also his Facebook group page, guys. So I'll have all those links in the chat for you guys if you want to go give Tony a follow. He's a great guy,
Okay.
and
His
eventually,
website.
yeah, go ahead, Tony.
His website is customstabwood.com.
Okay.
Custom.
CS Wood Designs. He makes for every one of my mods. He's got panels, and dude, he can do wood. He can do acrylic. I don't know if you've seen those ones that I had on the channel before, but
Mhm.
that's in the other room. But he did some acrylic panels where he did a laser etching of the cartoon face that I have. That one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did a laser etching of that on there as a surprise and sent me an extra set. I was like, that's pretty sweet, dude.
See, I'm
Nice.
one of those weird people. I would actually get all the different colors of the doors.
right off the bat.
Use them.
Yeah, man. See, that was good.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was going through because when I cleaned up this room was just stacked with stuff, and I was like, I don't even know what I have in here. I had found prototypes of the Pulse, dude. That original Pulse, the mech one.
The Mac one.
They
I still
had
use
sent me. They had sent me a box of just maybe 40 different colors, like of the mod body, not the panels, like
Oh, wow.
blue, red, all kinds of colors. I didn't really love the colors. I said they look painted or something. So scrap the colors, right? But I've got this whole box of just the bodies. They're like, here, just look at all the bodies and tell me which ones you like. And I'm like, well, none of them, just the black. So, and I found those, and I found panels, a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, this is kind of cool, little treasure trove.
Yeah.
I try to keep at least one of every one of the mods that I've done, or addies. I've done a ton of stuff, and including the fabled unicorn, the Pulse with the gene chip. I've got two.
Oh, you got that. You got.
I remember that
I
one.
kept two of them. They only made 100 of those.
Yeah, we
And
know
they
the
were
story behind that one.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were only sent out to reviewers and to distributors and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, all right. Well, I found those. I was like, I didn't think I had these still. Sweet. Yeah, it's a piece of history. There was a
The
lot of
green
stuff.
side
going on
doors,
around that.
yeah.
That's the one I don't have yet. Is the neon one?
The neon.
Yeah, I thought about it, but it was too flashy for me. Like I actually like something like a little more
You
simple.
would leave me alone.
I like my neon stuff, man. I was looking to see what I have around here.
Yes, Zachary, I'm from Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Also, look at this.
Tom is
Check
from.
that out.
Oh,
I had
nice.
forgotten
Very
all
nice.
about that. The armadillo mod with the bullet for the
Nice.
button. I was like, oh, dude, I forgot all about that.
See, you're gonna use that tomorrow.
Yeah,
You're gonna get it all good to go tomorrow. You put the bullet box down. I got this.
Oh man, well, I still squonk, but here's the thing: for sitting around the house, I don't think I need to blow big old clouds, man. I just don't. I don't need to do 3 milligrams and.
Yeah, John and I were
this up.
What's that?
John and I were actually just talking a while back about our old squonk mods that we used to have and stuff, and we're going back on size, and the little tiny guy is like,
Yeah, Tony's got a couple of
those.
those. He's got a couple of the anchor mods.
yeah, I used
And
to
the
love that guy.
TLF,
Mhm.
the TLF,
Illuminite. What was it? Illuminite.
Illumide, yes. That's what that purple one's made of.
Yeah,
Ooh, look at this. The cloak.
Yeah, I like that one. I remember when you first showed
Yeah,
that one on the
beautiful.
channel. That is just a beautiful mod.
That's just the way this thing was made on the inside, dude. Look at this.
Yep.
So back then, dude,
Simple.
all that's separated, and you could take all these pieces out of here and stuff.
Yep.
Back then, he was putting a lot of effort into that.
Yep.
It was simple. It worked. There was no chip to deal with. You know, you had to clean your
Yeah.
silver contacts every now and then, but
And you had to build for it.
you had to build
Yep.
for it. And it worked, and it always worked, and it never had any issues with it. It might tear up a couple battery wraps every now and then, but it worked. It always worked. Well, again, Tony, we want to thank you for your time.
Yeah,
We
thank you guys. I
appreciate it.
appreciate it, man.
Anytime you want to come back on, let me know. And you're more than what you've done the show a couple of times with us on the other show, but we wanted to have you here on the ZampleBox page, and so we really appreciate it. And everybody, say thank you to Tony.
Thank you, Tony.
All right, guys. We'll see y'all
All right.
later.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank
good night, Tony. All right, guys, we are going to jump into Mr. Tom and let Tom get his little stuff out of there.
Can I just say that was the most torturous hour and 20 minutes of my entire life?
It was.
Why?
I'm a talker, and to sit there in almost dead silence. It's not Tony's. It's not. I was just itching to. That's
All right. Yeah, Tim's done.
got it.
All right, Tom.
All right.
All right, Tommy boy, you're up,
ready.
bro.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Alrighty then.
Tom, did you take your blood pressure medicine?
I love that intro. That was great.
You're welcome.
Knock yourself out, Tommy. Get it all out.
All right.
Get it all out.
This week, I only have 8 things. It's been a slow week. The first one that cheeses me off is someone not following through on what they say. So you're waiting for no reason, or they're just inconsiderate of the value of your time. Stop doing that. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you say you're going to be somewhere at a certain time, be there. Or have a damn good reason. Why not?
Be courteous.
Yeah.
Or let you know ahead of time that they're not going to be there.
Right. And again, it better be a damn good reason. Extremely slow shipping times on everything. That shit is getting to be aggravating.
Yeah, and at what point do they get to stop hiding behind the COVID-19 response?
Right.
I think every website I go to now, they have at the top that says like extreme shipping delays, please read.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so here's my point. Not to interrupt you, Tom, but
Go for
what
it.
makes me mad? What makes me mad, based on what Tom said, is I just bought something recently. I'm saving it as a surprise. Well, these guys know. Anyhow, they're like, oh, everyone, you're going to have to relax. And, due to COVID-19, there's extreme delays. Blah, blah. It doesn't count. You can't say that when you hold the damn thing in your facility for 2 days and then blame the shipping company for the delay.
Right.
Stop doing that, companies.
COVID has been in our life for almost a year now. We
Figure
should have
it out.
learned how to work around it by now.
Figure it out.
Automated call trees with speech-only option, where they can't understand a damn thing what the hell you're saying. It's aggravating. Give me some buttons to push.
Yeah, numbers.
Or let me talk to an actual person, not a fucking recording.
I agree.
What about the ones that have Spanish first and then American after?
No.
English after that?
No, I want to talk to a person. Preferably somebody that doesn't sound like Steve from Nebraska.
And they try to make it cooler, like the machine really understands you, because they'll go, speak your response. So you say whatever number you guys say, and then you hear like real silent. It goes boop, 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 boop. Like it's fucking typing it in or something. I'm like, just stop. You didn't understand what I said.
Damn it! For number
Is
4,
your name
I had a prop.
is your name Alexa?
I had a prop for number 4, but it's out in the kitchen. Double stuffed Oreos not being truly double stuffed.
Oh, God.
False fucking advertising.
Yeah.
Damn it, John. Double stuffed Oreo should be like that, not like that. Get your shit together, Nabisco.
Double stuff Oreos.
Hey, I had a couple double stuff the other day, and I'm like,
Why am I picturing Tom opening up a bag of double stuffed Oreos with his micrometer measuring
Micrometer.
measuring the thickness of
You
his
don't
goat.
have to. You can look at it. It's still a thin ass cookie. Like, what the hell? Number
true.
5, Tom Brady. That son of a bitch just pisses me off. I just want to punch him right.
No, God. Tom Brady, the
Mhm.
goat,
No,
the goat.
no. He is not. Stop that.
He's the goat.
No, he's
He's
not.
good.
He may look like a goat.
We talk about that on the sports show. If he wins this next Super Bowl, I consider him, even though I
No.
hate him, Tom, like you do, I consider him taking the place of Jerry Rice as the
No.
number 1 greatest NFL player in all time of all time.
No. No.
You can't even put those two positions in the same category and say
No,
that
you
they're
can't because the
equal.
quarterback is the better of the two.
You have
He's
to look
gotta-
at the numbers of it alone, not what he's done. Yeah, the dude's won a lot. He cheats a lot. Gets away with it a lot. We all know it. He's going on his shit.
To be fair,
Fuck that guy.
I'm working on a spreadsheet already that's going to show exactly how good or how bad that person actually is.
Yeah.
So I'm getting to the
That's
bottom
another show.
Yeah, that's on the other show.
That's another show.
Okay. Wow, that one actually made me feel better.
Yeah. Get it out, Tom. Just get it all out. Get it out of your system.
Get it all out.
People in your way at the store, blocking the aisle when you're trying to get to your car, whatever. Just people in my way.
Yep.
That they're clearly, you can clearly see I'm going a certain direction. Get the fuck out of my way.
And stop walking at an angle across the parking lot. Then it takes you 3 times longer to get from the spot you started to the car that you're needing to get to.
Yes.
I can only go like 1 mile an hour for so long.
Yes.
Stop.
I'm going to start hitting people with my car. I swear to God.
Angles are not allowed in walking. Sorry.
I really should. Number 7 is kind of, but judgmental people. Let people be happy. Let them do whatever the hell they want. Who cares? If it doesn't affect you directly, leave them alone. And even if it does, who cares? It's their life, not yours.
Our person. I just
Those two.
I can't stop picturing Tom measuring his Oreos.
That just irritates me.
I'm gonna find one of those micrometers and
Micrometer.
and send them to you.
Okay.
Micrometer isn't used for measuring the thickness of a cookie. I'm just
No,
saying.
you would use a pair of calipers for
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
Yeah,
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 Zach
no.
even brought that one up.
Yeah.
It's like calipers, nerds.
Oh.
Was that 8?
No, that was 7.
Okay,
Number 8.
ooh, number 1 on the list right here.
Actually, this is the last one on the list. People parking too close to you in the parking lots. So when you're like this far away from your damn door. I'm a big dude. How am I going to fit in a spot like that?
Sunroof.
It's wintertime, dude. My sunroof froze shut. And I don't like door dings. I'll give door dings with my boot.
Yeah, Amanda, the shipping thing is just it's nonsense. It's just kind of gotten to this point where I think the companies are just kind of using an excuse now to kind of get out of doing things. I mean, it used to be you'd have a little bend and break, but I mean, things are taking like 10, 11, 12 days to get to you, and it's like 3 states away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
What about people not parking in the lines?
In spring, summer, and fall, I have an issue with that. In the winter, there are no lines, so it doesn't matter.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause
that's
it
the reason I was
snows
asking
where you
about
are.
parking closer because if people don't see the lines, they're not gonna, follow suit.
Right. Well, as you know, in the winter, there are no lines in parking lots.
Yeah,
They're covered.
So Tom, do you feel better? You feel better getting that all out?
A little bit. Now I got to work on next week.
I could feel the stress leaving his
I
body.
can feel you you releasing, getting it all out of your system now. You don't have to grab your bow or your guns to go out looking
I
for
don't
the
have to be
guy.
able to shoot damn things anyways.
I wish I
have to use
had
the bow.
I wish I had ties to somebody over at the Oreo factory for you to go over there to watch them, put the cream filling or whatever that shit is on the cookie so you can measure it with your calipers. This is a millimeter off, you sons of bitches. I'm getting ripped off here.
Seriously, double stuffed Oreos are about this size now.
No shit. Are they that thick?
Yeah, they
I-
kind of chinched
that
out
thing.
on the stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they went cheap. Sons of bitches.
Sons of bitches. Those
It's supposed to be like this.
I don't know.
Everyone boycott double stuff Oreos. Boycott double stuff
We want
Oreos.
original double stuff back.
Oh, Tim, we need a hashtag. We need a hashtag for that one on Twitter.
Hashtag stuff me double.
Stuff me double. That might end up being
Careful. That might go to someplace else.
Double stuff me.
Yeah,
Hashtag double stuff me.
Double stuff.
That's
Sorry.
gonna end up on the
Sorry.
hub.
Sorry. Has the 12-year-old left the chat? I'm sorry. I don't think they were 12 anyway. But.
Yeah, I don't think that will be a future title to a porn. Hashtag double stuff meat. starring Tom Hardy.
Tom does double stuff.
No. No.
Well,
I'm not ending up on the hub.
Well, I'm glad you got that out of your system, Tom. I hope you feel better.
I'll bet. I said, now I got to work on next week.
You just got to work. I'm sure somebody will piss you off from now until next Wednesday, dude.
And to Amanda's point, and I'm kind of over the whole thing where you buy something and then like they give you that false sense of like excitement where they're like you get the email or the text that says, "Oh, your item is shipped," and all they've done is generate a tracking number.
Right.
And then you stare at a Tom.
Yeah.
You're cooked for the next 2 shows, bro.
Yeah, I see that.
You're getting double stuffed.
Apparently.
Yes,
Thanks, guys.
I love it. I love it.
Oh,
That's good.
thank you, Tom, for your thoughts there, getting them out there. We're happy that you feel better, and no one's going to get hurt tonight and the rest of the week until next Wednesday when you get to release that anger again.
Yeah,
We're gonna jump into the news with Mr. Tim.
Oh,
here.
heck.
Here we go.
I'm gonna put my guns down in my holsters. Yeah, hey, can I just bring up one really cool point about this week's show that I'm just thrilled about? Is that we've been able to go through an hour and a half thus far and not one Bernie meme of him in a freaking chair. I'm just kind of over that. Yeah.
I could pull one up.
Thanks to YouTube, Facebook, and StreamYard for not letting people post memes in the chat. Because if I see another Bernie in a chair freaking meme, Tom, I'll have you add that one to your shit that cheeses you off next week. All right. News and advocacy, my little happy part of the show. Now I get to talk until I'm blue in the face, but I'm kind of not blue. Got a couple really good articles. Some things kind of came up this week. One that's actually quite outstanding, and one that kind of popped in on the horizon here in the last 24 hours. We didn't see Bill in the chat tonight. I thought Bill would be here to support me by copy-pasting everything he posts on Vape Distortion. But since he's not here, we had one that's kind of scary. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, our advocacy moment as well. So let me share my screen for the visuals, because everyone likes visual aids. There we go. Yeah, and if you're into Bose sound equipment, there's your ad right there. All right, so I don't know how many people saw this one. This one came out within the last, this is January 23rd, so about a week ago. The landmark e-cigarette report explodes the myth that vaping is as toxic as smoking. So this is another duh kind of thing. I think people who vape kind of already know the truth. What my hope is with a report like this is that it can be actually used by the American contingent to kind of help with the fight about vaping. So this was a 600-page report that was issued. It's a long name, so we'll abbreviate it moving forward. But this is a 600-page report issued by the National Academy of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, more simply known as NASEM. They're a group of scientists and doctors. And the report examines the health consequences of e-cigarettes for the population as a whole. So in this report, which I can provide the link for the report, apparently you can download it for a price, or I think you can look at the individual PDF formats. But they presented 47 conclusions categorized by different levels of evidence, with conclusive evidence being the strongest moniker in terms of that. So I didn't go into all 47 evidential presentations, but the one that is the main sticking point, the one that actually stands out and really makes the biggest impact, is that there is conclusive evidence that completely substituting e-cigarettes for combustible tobacco reduces the user's exposure to numerous toxicants and carcinogens identified in combustible tobacco cigarettes. So if anybody wants to give you any hashtags, there's been a lot of Karens on Twitter lately that have just kind of appeared on the landscape. I don't know if they're getting money kickdowns from some of these ants groups, because they're all joining Twitter within like the last month or so. These are all new users. They seem to be older. I'm not really sure, I can't pin the age range on them, but they seem to be older people. They all say they have kids or something to that effect, which there's a pattern developing here. But this is a great report to use as part of your conversation with them, if you want to call it a conversation. Usually it just devolves into a bunch of yelling and screaming and people blocking each other, and that's always fun. You meet a lot of really nice people on Twitter. So the comment here was, after many years, finally, a U.S. scientific body has echoed what the Royal College of Physicians and the British Medical Association and other health experts have been saying for some time, and that is that vaping is significantly safer and better for you than combustible tobacco, which we know kills up to almost 500,000 people every year. And little did most people know that I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of around 40,000 people die annually from secondhand smoking. So this is probably going to blow the whole secondhand vapor argument out of the window. Just be prepared to know that the ants will not quit. I mean, they're going to keep pushing their negative narratives. So if you can. This is from the Washington Examiner. Dare I say they're a reputable media source for things of this nature, although they're probably far more reputable than some of the other not so mainstream sources, but that kind of carry a little bit of weight behind them. Of course, this is labeled as an opinion piece, but that doesn't mean that you can't refer to the actual public health consequences study, which can be found, and I will give Brian the link or someone the link. They can put it in the chat.
Yeah.
But you can go through and you can read all of their presentations, what the contents are. So I mean, this is something that certainly echoes what a lot of the other science bodies have been saying. And the reason why the UK actually is so fervent on it is because they come from a public health system. And so they're more geared to actually helping people get off of smoking. Whereas here in America, it's about money, it's about lobbying, cash, and keeping people in power pretty much. So I will put that link in the chat for Brian to share. But I certainly think this is something that you can use. So their reasoning here was that due to misleading information, testing and ad campaigns, confidence in cigarettes by Americans had dropped from 50% in 2012 down to about 43% in 2014. And as of 2016, 60% of the population believed that e-cigarettes should be regulated as heavily as combustible tobacco. So it's just unfortunate that we have an impressionable public who don't really know anything about vaping, probably won't even give us the opportunity to say our piece, or at least have us present our evidence as to why we know it to be 95% safer than smoking. But just all of these ad campaigns and all the other wheretofores, I mean, public confidence in vaping has certainly dropped. And then the Valley cases didn't help either. The UK already promotes vaping as a healthy alternative, And based on this report, the findings are so confident that nobody. This is what the opinion is of the writer of this article. Based on this report, the findings are so confident that nobody should be under any illusions that vaping is as dangerous as smoking. So, but certainly you have something to back yourself up with. So, if someone's inclined to read, throw this on their desk and let them read that. So that is pretty good news. I don't know what becomes of this, if this report will actually be used in legislation arguments, but I don't see why it couldn't, especially if you've got advocates. So my takeaway here was it just reveals what we already knew was true, and the report can be used to counter anti-vaping rhetoric and online conversations or ants-funded propaganda, which there's more than enough of that. All right, so there's that one. Moving on to the next one. This is the one that kind of popped up in the last 24 hours and kind of really raises some concerns for me personally. I would think other people as well. But this is, since the new administration has now taken their place in the White House, they have frozen all new and pending rules introduced in the final days of the Trump administration, but included in this freeze. So that basically anything that was kind of like getting pushed through at the last minute, they put a freeze on all of these rules. So the one thing that got kind of caught up in the rush of all this is the final rules of the pre-market tobacco product applications, or the PMTA as we know it, and the substantial equivalents that were announced on January 19th. So everyone knows that the companies who were trying to get their pre-market tobacco authorizations done had to submit by September 9th. And I guess apparently some final rulings and things were being determined leading up to the end of this last presidential administration. And so basically the White House shut down all of those rules. They put a freeze on them, so they can't act on them. So is that good or bad? Hard to say. I'll add my own commentary here in a minute. But also what was included in the FDA's, what was included was the FDA's CBD enforcement policy draft guidance with regard to hemp CBD, which that particular contingent of the industry had been waiting since 2018 to finally get some rulings on exactly where they go with this, because there was a lot of gray area in that farming community. So now anything that they were waiting on is now completely frozen. So I guess this should come with the caveat to say that what is happening with this is not uncommon from administration to administration. So when I say that, what I mean is that Obama kind of did the same thing. Trump kind of did the same thing. They want to basically take a look at all the stuff that's passing through as rules or official rules for federal bureaus, and they want to review that to ensure that it is in line or they can agree with those particular rules moving forward. I think effectively what they want is they want new administration executive heads for departments to approve those rules. So literally almost everything is going to go through some form of review. But this is the thing that I think should concern us all, right? Because any freeze in what we think is what is technically moving forward, meaning the PMTA process, is now on hold. And the reason why that is bothersome, I think, is just based on this particular element of the article that brought up the fact that said, because the rule, now this, and I'm specifically addressing the deeming regulations and the PMTA rules on how we're going to get products approved and back out into the marketplace. For people that don't know, hey JT, what's up? For people that don't know, anybody, manufacturer, e-liquid manufacturer, devices, whatever, anything that needed to go through the PMTA process, as long as they had filed by September 9th, it gave those companies the right to keep those products out onto the market for up to a year while they went through the acceptance and then approval stages of the PMTA. But because the deeming rule, some of the final pieces of the deeming rule were not formally published with the Federal Register register by the US FDA by the end of Trump's presidency, here's what Biden can do. Biden can either move forward with the rules as they stand, which is maybe the best possible outcome. They can make changes, which that could go either way. It could make the PMTA process more strict. It could loosen some of the restrictions on that. So that's why I say it could go either way. Or they could just scrap it all together and start all over, or just make a broad spectrum overhaul of all of those rules. And that's the part that scares me specifically, because we kind of thought we had a pathway and now we're not so sure. So I certainly think this is something that everyone should kind of be paying attention to. To clarify some of it, the White House memo that did go out said that it does not strictly apply to rules, but also to any substantive action by an agency normally published in the Federal Register that promulgates or is expected to lead the promulgation of a final rule or regulation, including notices of inquiry, advance notices of proposed rulemaking, and any agency statement of general applicability and future effect that sets for, God, there's a lot of words here, sets for a policy on a statutory, regulatory, or technical issue, or an interpretation of a statutory or regulatory issue. So I just think that this leaves a lot of backdoors and open things that could hurt us further down the line. So if they change up PMTA, and they push this all back, vape companies have already put a lot of time, hours, and money into this process. And yes, JT, that's true. He did. I think a lot of people are aware of his position on that. I think what people are kind of holding on to is that he claims he's going to follow the science. So I'm trying not to make this a political conversation. All I can hope is that the science that he does decide to follow is actual science and not the propaganda science that's put out there, because there's a lot of garbage out there. So anyway, I'm just going to say this. I think everyone should just keep their ears and eyes open on this one, and we'll see where this lands. CASA, I'm sure, will be following this heavily. And Brian, whose organization was it that was helping companies get through the PMTA process?
That was AVM.
AVM.
Yeah, right. So AVM, I'm sure, is following this closely. My response on Twitter today was I kind of got a mixed bag of results. You had people saying, well, it seems to be more or less a review of everything, but that with that open door to completely scrap it or make changes is concerning to me. So I don't know where this goes, but certainly something that we need to keep our eyes on. All right. Yeah, that was important, needed to be said today. All right, the last one is our advocacy article. And if anyone was on the show last week, you'll know that we kind of had a broad review of all the legislation, vape bans, flavor bans, things that are going on in multiple states, counties, and or otherwise. This one happened to come up this week. We talked about the Missoula Vape Ban, which was going into effect this month. But it turns out that Missoula, Montana might be spared. I don't know that we have a lot of people in the group that live in Missoula, Montana. But if you know anybody in Missoula, Montana, they would know that as of January 25th of this month, which was but 2 days ago, a flavored vape ban went into effect for Missoula, Montana, in that particular city. It's now illegal to sell flavored e-cigarettes and vape products. However, there might be a delay in the full rollout of the policy. So what does that mean? Doesn't mean that the vape ban isn't already in play. It just means that their enforcement will be delayed. So whatever pieces they had in place to make sure that the vape shops aren't still selling stuff, the convenience stores or C-stores, whatever you want to call them, whatever, I guess just the enforcement elements of it won't be in play. So City Council Rep Mirtha Becerra said that all eyes should be on legislation in Helena, where lawmakers are considering a bill to prevent local government and health officials from regulating e-cigarettes and vape merchandise. And you see that more and more nowadays, where health departments are actually being given sort of the long arm of the law. I think in Massachusetts, I think Gretchen tried to turn it over to the health department to try to shut down vaping. Her statement, though, on this particular action is that one of the things that they're contemplating is that they would like to see through is that we delay the effective date of the ordinance. So they are still full on wanting to ban flavored vape products and flavored e-cigarettes and vape products altogether. However, they're kind of waiting to see what happens in Helena. So Missoula passed the legislation in November of 2020, but Becerra says the city's implementation of the ban may be altered pending the Helena outcome. Vape industry advocates also filed a lawsuit late last week to block the ordinance. So most of these things will always go to court. So you'll have vape shop owners and people like that who have the money maybe to bring a lawyer on board. Maybe the AVA is involved in some of this stuff. But you see lawsuits filed, and what they try to do is get an injunction on the ordinance based on something that was improper in the actual lawmaking process. But what's encouraging to know is that there's a freshman Republican representative from Hamilton County, Montana. His name is Ron Marshall. He's actually a co-owner for 3 different vape shops in Montana. And he has raised legislation, which is a House Bill 137. It's authored to prevent local health officials, even the state health department, from regulating vape products. And his bill has so far thus passed in a House Human Services Committee last week. So he's trying to get this through state legislation to effectively bar the state health departments from having a hand in limiting what products we can get our hands on. So with that said, I would not say for anybody in Missoula that you can just go to sleep. I mean, I don't know what you can get away with now, but I would just pay attention to House Bill 137. That's going to probably come up in front of legislation there in Helena, and see where that takes us. So that's House Bill 137. Again, sign up for CASA, follow your state. They track all this stuff. They will push out the calls to action as they see fit, or however, give you your avenue to communicate with people. But yes, I mean, it is a little dark on the vaping industry right now. Well, a lot of the a good portion of the vaping industry. So it's up to us to fight where we can. And with that, my friends, I'll shut up again. That was your news and advocacy for this Wednesday Night Live.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you very much, my friend.
You're welcome.
And that is the news.
I knew someone was going to do that. All right, we're going to fight after the show.
I've heard, and Tim, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't North Dakota's vape thing fail?
I don't know that I was able to follow up on the North Dakota thing. I do recall seeing something about that. I'll just do what the new press secretary says on the news. She'll talk to somebody, and then we'll circle back to you and get more information.
They were both pushed to. They were going to be talking about things, do some research. So
yeah, look at that. We circled back and found somebody.
See, we just asked the guy that lives in North Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right, John, stop it.
We lost Bernie. We lost Bernie Troncali.
That's okay.
He'll be back. You're welcome, Mr. Collin. I appreciate your ear. And I appreciate everyone's ear for the news and advocacy. Mm-hmm. Just want people to be informed.
Yeah.
All right. No more Bernie memes for the next 7 minutes.
Yeah. No, I don't have any more left of those.
That's what he was working on the entire time you were doing the news instead of paying attention like a good person.
No, I wasn't doing that. I didn't do that. That was from the internet. Someone posted that from the internet.
It was the meme else again.
All right, Brian.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to pick our winner?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. We had a contest.
Yeah, I went through all the names, and the one that we landed on was Travs. He mentioned in the chat here that he was going to go look at some sports stuff and come back, and he
Yeah,
hasn't come back yet. So
yeah.
Well, what
We,
crap.
we
Trav,
lost.
I will make sure to get I will make sure to inform Anthony that you are the winner of the giveaway, and he will get your information, or you can DM the. Actually, let's do this. Let's do this. Where is that thingy?
I don't know where your thingy is, John.
Email us at Wednesday Night Live. I'll also look you up on Facebook and send you the email address, and then you can email us your information, and I can get you in touch with Anthony. So that will get you your box.
Yep. And if you guys have any questions for us whatsoever, want to reach out.
Trav's back. Watch everyone be quiet. Trav's back.
Who's back?
Trav is back in the chat.
Trav Reed's back. Shh.
Is he back in there?
Yeah.
I'm back. Wow, didn't expect
Everyone be quiet. Trav returned.
You're back. You are the golden ticket winner.
Congratulations, Trav. Way to go, bro.
You are the golden ticket winner. We got our poll question here. I'm going to bring that up here as soon as I get my screen to go back to regular mode here. I was busy making something.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what it was.
Pineapple on pizza.
God, every time I see a picture of Space Jam bottle, it blows me away that company's gone. Not that their juice was any good. I'm just really surprised that that company is gone because
And they went out on a high note. They never got rid of the glass bottles.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you guys have any questions for us or anything like that, hit us up at our email, which is on the screen now. We also have a Twitter. You can hit us up there, which is what, Tim?
You would ask that question, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm. You're the Twitter guy.
You're. Hold on, I'll tell you. I'm logged in.
John, can you change the banner to our Twitter, please?
It's just look up Wednesday Night Live on Twitter. It's at Show Wednesday.
It's at Show Wednesday. So
follow us
at
there.
Show
You can reach out to
Wednesday.
us. We'll get back to you, etc.
Yeah, you guys can go on there. You guys can send us messages on Twitter, on our email. Let us know what you guys want us to talk about, any topics, devices that you would be interested in us reviewing, or add anything that you want Tim to look up as far as news wise, or anything that pisses Tom off. If you want,
you guys want to throw out ideas for that, hit me up on Twitter. I see it.
Throw those in there. All right, let me take that off. Let me go here and here. And our poll question this week was, what was your preferred cotton of choice? Everybody watching, if you have a one that's not on the list there. It's funny because when I went to go do the Google search and it pulled up like the top 10 on there, I was kind of surprised because some of them that were on the top 10 or there was two of them that I've never heard of, which kind of surprised me.
Can you expand the list? Where it says C5.
Yeah, I'm going to expand it here in a second. Yeah. There we go.
Okay, cool.
We had cotton bacon on top, of course, with 25 votes. The Japanese organic cotton pads, which are always big. Vape Fly, Firebolt cotton. Is that the one with the tip?
The shoelaces.
Yeah, the shoelaces.
Like cotton.
Yeah,
that's really common now. The shoelace cotton.
Now they weren't the first to do that, right? It was
that was the cotton.
Cotton.
COTN.
COTN was the first one.
Yep. We got Wotofo on the list as well. Kenjo was on there. Native Wicks, which I thought would have gotten a lot more votes.
Yeah, what's up with all you Native Wicks haters out there, man? It's good stuff.
Yeah, Tim, I'm with you. I'm really surprised because like even on Instagram, you would see a lot of people using that wicking, they'd be in their pictures, they have their little picture of their RDA and then just the bag kind of sitting there off to the side. So that they were using that material. That white stuff. That's a new one to me. I don't know. You guys seen that one around?
I've seen it. It's a new one.
It's a new brand, right?
Yeah, and you know who?
Right around the same time as Cotton Threads.
And you know who else came out with their own cotton line is Thunderhead Creations.
Thunderhead?
Yeah, they came out with their own.
Cotton is on there, and Coil Master Pro Cotton, which I've never seen. I think that used to only come in their kits, didn't it? And I think did they just start making that?
What's wrong with you, Zach? What's wrong with you?
What is Zach saying?
He said,
like-
he goes, I don't like native. That's fine. I mean, not all cotton is created equal. I get it. And I have Kendo Gold here. I've used both types of the native wicks. I've used the pads, the little squares. I think everybody's used those at some point. And I've used cotton bacon. And I just find that the native wicks for me is easier to work with. And
And it doesn't have that first. Well, not that.
yeah, there's no
a lot
break
of-
in. There's
There's
no break in.
There's no break in
Cam,
with that cotton.
This stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah,
those where you can buy like 8 billion of them on friggin' on Amazon.
For $12, you can get 200 pads.
And we should add 2 more to this list which weren't mentioned. And there's this one on Amazon called 13 Feet. Is that what you have, John? The 13 Feet?
13 peak, yeah.
No, not peak. Feet. 13 feet.
No, I have organic cotton pads.
Okay. Well, there's one on Amazon called 13 Feet, which people talk highly about. And then the other one that is, I see it a lot now in other groups, and I've never tried it. I'm almost a little nervous to try it, but people swear by it, is rayon, that rayon cotton that you buy through beauty supply sellers. Comes in a big white box.
I like the Firebolt cotton. That was really good cotton. I've had a couple of them. The one that I mean, I'll tell you why I use the pads. And the reason I use the pads is I like flavor, and I change my cotton every 2 days. So I don't care. And to use any of the other brands, even the Firebolt, I mean, that's expensive. If I'm going to change my cotton every 2 days, I would be spending a fortune on cotton. And with these pads, I can buy 200 pads for $12.95, and every 2 days I change my cotton. I don't care if it looks still white or it doesn't look burnt or it doesn't have a burnt. I just change it because I really want to taste my juice. I don't want to taste anything else other than juice.
Well, I've used quite a few of these different brands here, and each one of them has their purposes. So, like the shoelace ones, I call them. All the different varieties of them. They're mainly used for just single coils, but also at the same time, if you make a coils like I do sometimes, where they're actually bigger, they don't fill in there as much. And if you make it too small, which sometimes I do too, it's too thick for it. So I don't use that one as much. And on the like regular 2 millimeter ones, it works great. Like 2.5, like 2 to 3 max, but 2 to 2.5 works great. I use just spacing out the pads like you use, and then I also use the cotton too. And those are the 2 ones I actually use all the time. Like cotton bacon, and then what you use. Cotton bacon is a lot easier. You don't have to with the pads. What I do is I actually peel them apart.
Yeah, I take
and then I take
the top and bottom layer off.
Yeah, and then but for me, like sometimes where I'm just in a hurry, I'll just take some cotton bacon, just throw it in there, and off we go. So
yes. So Zach, you used to sell you cotton. What do you think of it? I hear a lot of people give it pretty high praise. But you have to buy a certain one. It's not, you can't just buy any one.
Right.
There's 2 kinds that are out there. All I know is you get like 8 bajillion feet of it, and it should last you basically the rest of your life. He'll comment in a minute. There's a bit of a delay.
Yeah, it takes about it's about an 8 to 10 second delay. So someone should make a cotton master like the coil master.
By name?
By name?
No, I think he means like a tool, like a kit where it's a bunch of different cottons all together. You can try.
Oh yeah, like a coil kit, so you can try different styles to find the one that you want. It isn't a bad idea. I mean, and I would say probably cotton is going to be one of the things that will be able to fly under the radar if the hammer's to come down on this whole charade, because they don't have to put for vaping on it. Just say cotton.
It's just there you go. It's just regular cotton pads, Trav. That's all. It's just 100 sheets of regular cotton. Like I said, for me, the way I vape and changing my cotton every 2 days. Tom's got it. They sell it. It's very cheap.
Yeah,
I think you get it sometimes they have 2 bags for $12. It just depends when you catch them if they're having a sale, but. Yeah, it's great. For me, for the way I vape and to change my cotton every 2 days, it'd be too expensive for me to use any of the other brands.
Mhm.
And I don't really have. There's no flavor. I get no flavor from that. The break-in's pretty quick on that stuff because again, I am peeling the top and the bottom off when I put that in there, and it just works out because I can cut it to like Brian was saying, I can cut it to the thickness of whatever I want. So.
Mhm.
That is about it, guys. Anything else you guys
Well,
got on your
do
mind?
you guys want me to pitch my idea to the group and see if people are in for doing something like what I mentioned
Yeah.
in our. All right, so big brains on bread, right? So we kind of tout this as a community-based show, and we love it with you guys here on the show every week. We like the banter and the conversation that goes on. We're making some friends here, but I kind of came up with an interesting idea. And being that it is a community-based show, and we like to hear your voices, I was thinking about coming up with a segment. I kind of lightly called it "Hear Ye, Hear Ye," but the whole idea is that I think a lot of people got a lot of stuff on their chest about the vaping industry and the way things are going. But what would you guys? And this is strictly for the people that are watching the show. How would you feel if we gave you a bit of the floor to speak your mind on the current state of vaping or the things that bother you, and if you could say whatever you wanted about the situation or to any particular person within a reasonable lines of respect, would the people watching the show be interested if we were to say select one person each week that raises their hand or says, "Hey, I got something to say." And then you have three particular options in which you can present that information. We'll give you the whole week to formulate, your speech or what it is that you have to say and get it off your chest. We're not going to put you on the spot and try to drag you on the show last second and make things awkward. We'll give you the time to build your confidence or scribe whatever it is you want to say. But we'll pick a person each week. That following show, you can either come on the show with us live and say what you want to say so we can hear your opinion live with the group as we sit here, the four of us, or if we have a guest that particular week. You can write whatever it is you want to say and submit it to us, and we will read it for you if you don't want to go the actual live way. Or you can take the time during the week to formulate your speech, record it on your cell phone or something like that, and send us the video, and then we'll play it for everybody on the show. Would anybody be interested in an idea like that? This is just allowing you to take a little bit of the floor and speak your mind or say your piece. And what I'm thinking is that if we build up enough of this, then you see a lot of this online where, they take a collage of the vaping stories like, oh, I quit smoking with, coconut flavor and stuff like that. Those are great. I mean, people need to hear the stories about how it saved your life. But I think we just have a lot of pent up emotion and frustration and things we'd like to say about the thing that we're passionate about and what we've chosen to save our lives. And that, we could take that and build a collage and then maybe push that around on the social media forums, as we build up some people and the things that they have to say. And I think that, might be another vehicle to kind of pass around and get people on board. Maybe it goes viral. Who knows? But if people are in for something like that, message us, raise your hand here, say you'd be interested in doing it. I mean, it doesn't have to be everybody, but I'm sure everybody's got a beef and they want to get it off their chest. So that's my idea.
Yeah, just email us if you're interested in doing it. If you're camera shy and you want to just pre-record it, that's fine. We can pre-record it and we will play the video on here. And
That's perfect.
Look at what people do.
Bernie's got some hair growing there,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
Yeah, if you're camera shy and you want to pre-record it, that's fine. Also, if you want to type it up and email it to us, we'll go ahead and read it off in your behalf, but we really would like to get you guys to come on and do it. Again, we understand not everybody is, wants to be on the camera or not, but
Well, I mean, they have to compete with all this handsomeness that's here, and
I don't know
can
how I
promise-
compete with all of that handsomeness over there.
I mean,
It's
you
rough.
guys,
I don't
you
know how
guys-
to deal with myself.
I mean, you guys got to know us. We're nice guys. We're we're not assholes. We want to hear your stories.
Well.
Whether it's your member spotlight, you want to talk about your vape journey, and our new segment. So just email us. Let us know what you want to do. Again, if you want to pre-record it, that's fine. Can we Brian, you might know, can they upload something to our Google Drive without having access to it?
No, not entirely.
No.
But what I would suggest doing is if you do record something and it's in your Google Drive, you can just send us the link for it. We can actually play it.
Oh, that's right.
That'd be a great way to do it. You can also just, you can record on your phone. It saves to, your photos. You can just right click and just add to, and it'll just type in our address, email address, and it'll pop in right there. We can play it whenever. That'll give us access to that file. Otherwise, another thing is you can send it to us in email or, an attachment of some sort. Otherwise, we can do something live or just written up and we can speak it for you. That's kind of the best options to do. So.
Yeah.
Nuclear reaction with a flux capacitor. Carry the two, changing its atomic isotoner into a radioactive spider. Fuck you, science.
Fuck you, science. That's all the time, Brian.
I think that here's my whole premise with that idea is that we're all here on the show and we're effectively talking in a bit of an echo chamber. There's no one here other than a troll every now and again who really has an argument with our position. But I think it's important to have our own sort of virtual vape rally, and if we can, we can allow people to speak for themselves because you are part of that community. You are one of the 8 million people that uses vaping to save your life and get you away from cigarettes, and someone's trying to take that away from you. And I just want you guys to have as much of a voice as anybody else. And so if we can provide a little bit of a vehicle, then by all means, let's put you out there to the masses.
Sounds good. Tom Boy.
Yo.
Give me your goodbyes, brother. Give it to me.
Bye, buddy.
That's it? That's all you got for me, brother? Come on. Cheese it up. Cheese it up. Cheese it up, brother.
Thank you, everybody, for showing up. We had a
Thank
great
you.
time. I want to thank Tony B for dropping by and visiting with us. Always a pleasure. And join CASA. Hit us up on our email or our Twitter, and we'll see you next week.
Hashtag Tom Double Stuff.
No.
Hashtag Tom Double Stuff. Timmy, how about your goodbyes, my friend?
Again, great show. Tony B being on the show, always a great guest. Very fun guy, very nice guy. He's one of the creators in our community, and he makes those mods that you use. And it's great to have people like that, and people get exposure to that. No, Zach, you're not a troll. Now, did we infer that from the beginning of the show? Can you just put troll in quotation marks in between your first and last name, and then we'll know that it's do it like the upper lowercase letters too, so we know that it's satire. But again, I just try to bring the news and the advocacy to you guys, and I hope that I'm passing off some important information. But beyond that, thank you for being here, guys. We love it when you're here with us, and that's all I got. Vape on, vape strong.
All right, Brian.
Yeah, thanks everyone tuning in. It's a pleasure to be in the chat talking to everybody. Thank Tony B for coming on, just like everyone else said. Let us know if you have any questions or emails, or you can just pass it on to us and we can answer them for you, or just ask them in chat. Either or.
That is right. That is our email address. I'll put it up there. I just want to thank everybody on the panel here. I love these guys. They do a great job with this show every week. We love getting comments from you guys. We want to bring you guys into the show. We want you guys to be part of this show and be part of the community and get your voices heard. So again, if you're interested in doing what we're considering as our next segment, please email us. Let us know if you're interested. Like I said, if you're scared, you can type it up and send it to us. We'll read it in your behalf. You can upload a video if you don't want to be live. Again, I want to thank Tony. Honestly, I say it a lot. He's one of the nicest guys you could ever meet at a vape convention. He goes out of his way to help you. I mean, he's an amazing guy to meet in person, and so are all the other guys that I've gotten to meet over the years. Tony, Phil, and all these guys. They're real good guys, and Tony's one of those really nice guys that'll, especially if he's got something new. If Tony's got something new, he's got to show you at the convention. Come here, I got to show you something. But he's a great guy, and again, if you're interested, email us and let us know what your thoughts are, and we'll put it on the show. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit that little bell, that little notification, and it'll let you know when new content is up on the ZampleBox channel. And that's it. That's us. We'll see you guys next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Tom,
Last week.
what time is it in Pennsylvania at 6 p.m.?
It would be 9 o'clock, I believe.
That's correct. How about Mountain Time? What time is it at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, Tom?
Well, first of all, John, you just said 6 p.m. You didn't say which 6 p.m. he was referring to. So he could say it's 6 p.m. Pennsylvania time, which would be 6 p.m.
Okay.
It would be 7.
All right. So 9 o'clock. What time would it be?
Why
in,
is this the
Mountain
hardest
Pacific
part
time?
of the show?
No.
That's why I left it to Tom.
We'd love to have you, Amanda.
Yes, we would, Amanda. It would
And
be
Colin.
8 p.m.
And JT
All right, guys.
and Zach.
on the U.S. Central. And everybody else, Google that shit.
Google it, brother. All right. Thank you again, everybody. We'll see you guys next week, and we are out.